Tonight, an East Texas family is struggling to understand how a law enforcement officer could stop a drunk driver and then let him back on the road.
Back in August of 2011, 42-year-old Kevin Earl Jones of Longview was killed by that drunk driver in a head-on crash on Interstate 20. The drunk driver was also killed. For the past 26 months, Jones's family says they have been fighting to learn the truth about what happened that night. KLTV7's Melanie Torre has been investigating the circumstances behind the wreck, and she joins us now because, Melanie, you've been doing this for months, and you even have the dash cam video that gives us some interesting insight into this.
I do, Anissa, and we are going to show you that video in a moment, but this isn't just a story about that awful wreck. As the video will show you, it's a story about the shocking statements made by one of the troopers who worked the crash site and the regret he expresses about a decision he made, in his words, just 40 minutes ago. It's also a story about the 2 years of pain and sadness a Longview family has had to endure ever since their loved one was taken from them.
I can tell you it doesn't hurt any less today than it did the day it happened.
In the early morning hours of August 20th, 2011, a wrong-way crash on Interstate 20 claimed the lives of 2 East Texas men. The person driving the wrong way on the interstate was 62-year-old Pedro Rodriguez of Marshall. The victim, 42-year-old Kevin Earl Jones, was on his way home to Longview after wrapping up a job interview in Port Arthur. Kevin was a half a mile from his exit when he was killed.
For a long time I said that I was robbed twice. I was robbed of my son. I was robbed of someone to blame, the drunk driver, because he died also. But then 9 months after my son was gone, I found out there was another person to blame.
Kevin's mother, Martha Chavez, says she knows it was ultimately the drunk driver's choice that killed both him and her son. A half a year later, Martha and her daughter, Kevin's sister Renee, requested the dash camera video from the crash. They wanted to find the exact place of his death and erect this sign in his memory. But their quest for closure only brought them more pain.
One of the dash cams had audio on it of one of the troopers admitting that he had pulled this person over about 40 minutes before the wreck.
An open records request revealed that the DPS trooper Renee is talking about was Trooper Leland Borden.
I'm feeling bad right now. I stopped him 40 minutes ago.
Did you?
Yeah.
What's wrong with him?
No license. I smelled a little alcohol on him, but I couldn't, you know, it didn't, that's it. You know, it wasn't nothing. I couldn't smell a lot on him, you know. I was trying to get him to call somebody, and he tried to call somebody, nobody came. You know, do you sit there and wait on somebody to call, you know? So I left. But I feel bad right now, you know.
Yeah. Did you do any filthy variety on him or anything?
He couldn't understand it.
After Trooper Borden walks away, you hear the unidentified trooper turn to another trooper working the crash and tell him what Borden just said.
Dude, did you just hear what just happened? What? The trooper in Harrison County just stopped this guy. Let him go.
The Department of Public Safety's records show that 42 minutes prior to the wreck, Trooper Borden pulled Rodriguez over for going 85 miles per hour in a 65 mile per hour zone. Trooper Borden also noted that Rodriguez was driving without a license.
I don't understand it. I do not understand it.
DPS's investigation records from the crash showed Rodriguez was under the influence. While doctors could not draw his blood after the crash, a sample of his eye fluid contained 0.19 grams of alcohol. That's equivalent to a blood alcohol concentration of 0.152, nearly twice the legal limit to be behind the wheel.
He couldn't make him understand the field sobriety. He should have called another officer or something, you know.
After requesting state law enforcement records, we learned that the trooper in question completed 51 hours of Spanish for law enforcement in 2008. Then we requested a copy of every public personnel record DPS had on file for the trooper. The stack of papers came with a copy of his handwritten job application, every sick day and vacation day he's taken in his 5 years with the department. And in the middle of it all was one piece of paper that let us know that DWI stop did not go unnoticed. Trooper Borden's 2012 performance evaluation report noted that he received formal counseling for not conducting a thorough DWI investigation. That same report stated that the public's needs were met, and he met all of the department's expectations except when it came to investigative thoroughness. His performance wasn't labeled as unacceptable, but the department noted that some improvement was needed.
And if this officer, there wasn't any disciplinary action, I don't agree with that at all.
And there was no disciplinary action. DPS told us that themselves. We filed an open records request for the dash camera video of the initial stop, the one where Trooper Borden pulled Rodriguez over for speeding, smelled a little alcohol, and let him go. Our request was denied. DPS told us the requested dash camera video are part of investigations that did not result in disciplinary action being taken against a commissioned officer. Therefore, the requested records are confidential, and our office is prohibited by law from releasing this information to you.
I know at some point I'm going to have to find some peace, and with the peace is going to have to come some forgiveness.
Martha and Renee say they're still a long way from forgiveness, but they're working toward it. Renee's tattoos remind people everywhere she goes that drunk driving not just ruins, but ends lives. It's a decision that robbed Renee of years with her big brother.
He was like my Superman, I feel like it's only going to get worse as the years go by.
The Department of Public Safety headquarters in Austin told us they couldn't comment because of pending litigation. We even emailed the director himself to be absolutely certain DPS had nothing to say to Texans, taxpayers, or Kevin's family. In August, Martha filed a lawsuit against Trooper Borden and the nightclub that she believes overserved Rodriguez that night. She's still looking for answers. She still wants to know what happened in that initial stop. It's video she says she needs to see.
Everyone makes mistakes. None of us are perfect.
I'm feeling bad right now. I stopped him 40 minutes ago.
I'm just really I need some answers before I can get to my peace. And I think the answers will help me get there.
Answers are really all that Martha and Renee want. They told me this isn't about seeing Trooper Borden lose his job. That's not what they want, because they know that's not going to bring Kevin back. We made numerous attempts to contact Trooper Borden both at work and at home. When we called him at work, he was out on patrol, but we were told we could not leave a message for him. He knew this story would be airing, and any comment would have to come directly from Austin.
Thank you. And DPS in Austin told you that they couldn't comment, so what about that lawsuit? Have attorneys filed any response?
No, Anissa, we checked federal court records and neither DPS nor Trooper Borden have made any response to that lawsuit, which was filed more than 2 months ago.
Okay, but the story doesn't end there for the family or really for the station. I mean, there's still a chance the public might one day see that dash cam video, isn't there?
That's right, Anissa. We're still actively trying to get a copy of that video through an appeal. I'm talking about video of that initial traffic stop where Borden pulled the drunk driver over. It's something that we're fighting for, so both Kevin's family and the public can know what really happened that night.